How is it that some people can stick to healthy habits while others can't? Well, it actually has nothing to do with willpower, motivation, or discipline. It boils down to this one thing that scientists call friction. See, when you eliminate friction, healthy habits become as automatic as brushing your teeth. And that's why thousands of people are making the switch to batch juicing. The problem is, they just don't know where to start. And if that's you, you're in the right spot. In this batch juicing for beginners video, I'm about to show you a secret hack that removes nasty pesticides from your juice, 2 criminally delicious batch juicing recipes that you can easily make from home, and how to properly store your juice bottles so you don't end up in the ER like I almost did. Well, it boils down to these 2 features that regular juicers don't have. Have you ever taken a bite of an apple and waited a couple minutes and watched it turn brown? That brown color is the apple rotting right in front of your eyes. And anytime you slice open a piece of fruit or vegetable, you're starting an invisible countdown timer. Heat, air, and sunlight trigger a process called oxidation. And when your juice oxidizes, all of its nutrient-rich vitamins and enzymes start vanishing by the minute. And using this one type of juicer can speed up the process 2 times faster while the other won't. So the first type of juicer is called a centrifugal machine. These are like those cheap $100 machines that you'd see at your local Walmart. They're kind of like blenders with razor sharp blades that spin so fast they could probably power a small helicopter. We're talking 5,000 rotations per minute. They slice open cell walls and generate more heat and force more air into your juice, which damages the quality. The other type is called a masticating or cold press juicer. These spin at turtle speeds of up to 90 rotations per minute and chew the fruits and vegetables like teeth instead of slicing them into tiny pieces. They don't generate nearly as much heat or forced air. Batch juicers like the J2 come with this cold press technology, so you get a longer lasting, more nutritious juice. But that's not even the feature that gets me excited about batch juicers. There's something that's completely changed the game for me, and trust me, if you've ever given up on juicing because it felt like a part-time job, you're gonna wanna see this. Check this out. It's called a hopper, and it sits on top of the juicer. Before, juicers used to use something called chutes. You'd have to stand there for 20 minutes playing with a never-ending game of feed the machine. 1 carrot, wait. 1 celery stick, wait. 1 apple, wait. By the time you're done, your back is killing you and your kitchen counter is a complete mess. With a hopper, it's a set it and forget it. All you have to do is load up your ingredients, flick the switch, and then walk away. The hopper on the J2 has a 70-ounce capacity that lets you batch 2 to 3 cups of juice at one time while you go fold your laundry, check your emails, or get your kids ready for soccer practice. The blades at the bottom do the prep work for you, so you can put whole fruits and vegetables into the juicer. Instead of spending 30 minutes every morning making your juice, you can knock out an entire month's worth of juice on a Sunday afternoon. It's always better to drink fresh squeezed juice when it's made, but if you freeze your juices, you can make it last for over a whole month. Now, before I show you the proper way to freeze your juices, you need to pay attention to this next part. Otherwise, you might wind up drinking harmful chemicals and pesticides. Have you ever seen those shiny apples at the grocery store? The perfect red shine that you're looking at isn't natural. It's actually a waxy chemical coating sprayed on by supermarkets to make them look more appealing. And that's just what you can see on the surface. Industrial farmers spray their crops with cocktails of nasty pesticides and chemicals that would make your head spin. And if you don't wash your produce carefully, sometimes bacteria like E. coli and salmonella can have you hugging your toilet for days. But here's where some people make a huge mistake. They reach for the dish soap and start rubbing a dab on their fruits and vegetables. The problem is that fruits and vegetables have pores. Even if you thoroughly rinse them, they might have absorbed the chemicals from your soap, and it's probably not healthy to ingest that over the long term. Now, you could clean your fruits and vegetables with just cold water, and for most people, that's actually fine. But if you really want to remove all those harmful pesticides and reduce bacteria while batch juicing, use this secret cleaning hack. First, soak your produce in cold water in a big bowl. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda and just let it soak for 1 to 3 minutes. Give them a good scrub with either a brush or your hands and then rinse. Next, we'll fill up a bowl with some fresh cold water again, and then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Again, just let it soak for 1 to 3 minutes and give it a rinse. And whatever you do, don't mix your vinegar and baking soda together. If you do, it'll give you this fizzy effect, which looks cool, but it causes a chemical reaction that makes both the baking soda and the vinegar weaker cleaning agents. When you keep them separate, baking soda's alkalinity helps break down certain waxes and pesticides, while vinegar's acidity can remove residues and help kill bacteria like salmonella and E. coli. Again, you don't have to do this, but if you want more peace of mind, it's a solid idea. Once that's finished, we're ready to start making some fresh juice. Now, you can can put whole fruits and vegetables inside the hopper, but then that gives you less space. If you chop your fruits and vegetables into smaller pieces, you'll be able to fit more at one time. Here's an example. In the first hopper, I put 2 whole apples and maybe I can fit 1 more. In the second hopper, I've cut 2 apples into smaller pieces and I can probably fit another 4 or 5 apples if I chop them up. Now, the J2 has a 70-ounce capacity, so that lets you make about 2 to 3 cups of juice in one go. But if you want to make even larger batches, I'd get their larger hopper add-on. It extends the capacity up to 105 ounces, letting you juice about 3 to 5 cups at once. When you're loading your juicer up, you want to make sure that you're careful with the peels and large seeds. Never put things like coconut shells, melon rinds, or pits into your juicer, otherwise you might break it. For citrus fruits, you can juice with the skins on, but this can leave a more bitter taste in your juice. For lemons, I just slice them thin, and for oranges, I just completely take the skin off. Now, pay really close attention to this next part because the order that you load your produce into the hopper actually matters more than you think. For the best results, you're going to want to follow this order. Leafy greens at the bottom, then soft produce, then medium produce, and finally hard fruits and vegetables. Those heavy pieces at the top use gravity to push lighter pieces down into the juicer. This improves yield and it helps you squeeze out more juice so you get a better bang for your buck out of your groceries. And if you're somebody who doesn't get enough greens, you're going to love this next juice recipe. The current dietary guidelines for Americans recommends 2.5 cups of vegetables per day, and if I had to guess, you and I probably aren't getting anywhere near that. The cool part about batch juicing is that if you don't like to eat your greens, you can just drink them throughout the week. The best part is you don't have to waste your money on $80 per month green supplements. Most of these come with a ton of microdose ingredients that don't actually do anything for you. If we want more greens in our diet, why not get them straight from the source, nature? So instead of blowing your cash on these green powders, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an anti-inflammatory green juice at a fraction of the cost. This recipe is from my ebook. If you wanna check it out, there's a link in the description down below. I use curcumin, ginger, lemon, apple, and leafy greens. Now, leafy greens are rich in vitamin K and pack plenty of antioxidants, phytonutrients, and polyphenols that can help protect against cancer and fight inflammation. Just be careful when you're juicing leafy greens because some are high in oxalates like spinach. Megadosing high oxalate leafy greens can worsen kidney problems if you've already had them, or they can even cause kidney stones. So if you're looking for a good lower oxalate substitute for spinach, you can try kale. And if you're on blood thinners or blood pressure meds, go easy on the spinach. The high amounts of vitamin K in spinach can also interact with those meds. As always, consult a doctor before you start juicing. I'm not a medical professional. Personally, I use about a handful per serving. The next ingredient I want to talk about is ginger. Ginger was used as a treatment for many illnesses over 5,000 years ago. Even the ancient Greeks used it, the same people who invented math and baklava. Now, ginger has been shown to reduce inflammation. People with knee arthritis were given ginger extracts in place of their pain medication, and they were only allowed to use it if they felt like they really needed it. So researchers saw that when patients took the ginger, they felt less knee pain and they relied less on their medication. So there's evidence that supports ginger can act as a powerful anti-inflammatory. Now we're going to talk about curcumin. Curcumin comes from turmeric and it's been shown to have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Studies have shown that people with arthritis can benefit from about 500 milligrams to 1500 milligrams per day. The problem is you'd have to juice a ton of turmeric to get anywhere near that amount of curcumin. So I just pull apart curcumin capsules and put them in my juice. And before we get to the next recipe, we've got to clean out our juicing machine. So if you use ingredients like ginger, broccoli, celery, beets, or leafy greens, you'll need to give your juicer a good scrub. Otherwise, you're going to get something called flavor cross-contamination. What can happen is residue from one recipe can mix with the next one and that'll ruin its taste. Now, there is a simple cleaning shortcut that only takes about 2 minutes, but if you use any of the ingredients I've talked about before, I'd recommend you wash your juicer the more thorough way. The first thing I'll do is I'll remove the unit from the base. Now I'm going to separate the hopper from the juicing chamber and start spraying the pulp out of the hopper. Then I'm just going to remove the juicing screen and auger and spray that too. For the auger, you grab your brush tip and you scoop out the bottom in a circular motion. Then for the juicing screen, we'll use the brush tip again to poke pulp out of this hole. Next, we're going to flip open this mechanism and rinse out the pulp out of the juicing chamber. Then grab a sponge with a bit of soap and just scrub the inside of the hopper and around the blade. Don't worry, the blade is pointy, but it's not sharp, so you're not going to cut your finger. Finally, take your cleaning brush, add a little bit of soap, and then just start scrubbing the juicing screen. This is non-negotiable. If you don't clean the specks of pulp out of these tiny holes, minerals can build up over time and reduce your yield. Now, you ready for that simple cleaning hack I mentioned? So like I was saying, if you don't use any harsh ingredients like ginger, you don't have to thoroughly scrub your juicer. Instead, you can just pour soapy water into the top, close the cap, and let it run. Then let it soak for about a minute and then just open the juice cap. Next, you're gonna take apart your juicer and you're just gonna spray the soap off. And we're ready for the next recipe. The ingredients are honeydew, lemon, and apple. And I swear to God, it's the simplest, most delicious recipe you'll ever try. The honeydew is a great source of potassium, which can help prevent osteoporosis and strokes. It also has folate, which helps support hair, skin, and nails by helping with cell repair and growth. And 1 cup of honeydew has only 60 calories, so it's great for people who are trying to lose weight. Now, the apple helps sweeten it up a bit more, and the lemon gives it a nice zing. Okay, so let's give this a quick taste test. Yeah, you just can't top that. This is one of those more sugary juices I like to treat myself with. Normally, I like to stick to the 80-20 rule, which is 80% vegetables and 20% fruits. The reason why you want to do this is because you don't want to overload your body on drinking sugary juices. This can spike your blood sugar and trigger processes that make it easier to gain weight. But 10 out of 10 times, these are always better than drinking a Coca-Cola or an energy drink with tons of processed sugar versus natural sugars that come from the fruit. Now, we're going to take a look at the pulp. You can see how efficient a juicer is by doing something called the squeeze test. If you squeeze the pulp and you see lots of juice coming out, it means that the juicer didn't do a good job. Just make sure you have realistic expectations. No juicer is perfect, and softer fruits like kiwis, vegetables like celery, and cucumbers tend to leave wet pulp in almost every juicer I've tested, and believe me, I've tested dozens. So let me show you the pulp that came out with this recipe, and you can see it's pretty dry. If the pulp is too wet, you can put it back into the machine to help squeeze out more juice. Now, there's something you need to know when storing your juice, and trust me, these might save you from drinking glass shards with your morning green juice. First, forget about plastic bottles. Sure, they can work, but here's what most people don't know. Even if your bottles are BPA free, they can slowly leach plastic into your juice over long storage periods, especially if you leave them in the sun. We don't want to take 1 step forward with our health and then 2 steps back with plastic toxins. Okay, so you have your glass juice bottles, but how long can you leave them in the fridge? Cold pressed juice can last up to 72 hours in the fridge, but there are a few tricks we can use to make it stay fresher. The first is to fill your juice all the way to the top of the bottle. That way there's less air inside the bottle, making your juice stay fresh longer. If you run out of juice, just add a little bit more water and you're good to go. You could use one of those vacuum sealers, but I never bother because it just feels like a bunch of extra work. The next thing is you can use citric acid. So it turns out lemons have citric acid naturally occurring in them. A small squirt can act like a natural preservative, keeping the ingredients fresher. But you really don't want to push the limits of the 72 hours, otherwise you could wind up with terrible stomach cramps, so do this instead. Take some of your juices and then just freeze them. When you're ready to drink them, put them in the fridge to thaw. But don't make this next mistake, otherwise you might wind up taking a one-way trip to the ER like I almost did. I bought some juice shot bottles off of Amazon and I made a massive batch of wellness shots. I thought I'm never going to be able to drink these in 72 hours, so let me just chuck some of these in the freezer. I took one out and I let it thaw, and right when I was about to shoot it, I felt something sharp pressing against my tongue. I carefully spit it out and it happened to be a piece of glass shrapnel. Turns out when you put glass in the freezer and take it out, the exposure to warm and cold temperatures can cause it to crack and splinter unless you use a special type of glass. It's less sensitive to temperature, so it won't crack when you freeze it. It's called borosilicate. If you want high quality borosilicate juice bottles, I'm a huge fan of the ones from Nama. I've tried everything under the sun on Amazon and nothing compares. The Nama juice bottles have this piece of silicone in the top, which makes the seal airtight and keeps your juice fresh and prevents spills. The glass is borosilicate, so you don't have to worry about it cracking, and the silicone on the outside makes it extra grippy and protects against drops. But not even the Nama juice bottles can withstand this next part, so make sure you pay attention. When putting your juices in the freezer, never fill them to the top. For the fridge, it's okay, but for the freezer, you're gonna leave about 1 inch space. And the reason why you do that is because juice expands when it freezes. If there's no room for it to expand, the pressure is going to build up and it's going to crack the bottle, even if it's borosilicate. Another lesson I unfortunately learned the hard way. And you know what else I learned the hard way? Picking the right juicer. The Nama J2 is one of the top 3 batch juicers I've tested. And if you're looking to save some money, I'll put links in the description below with the best discount available on the internet.